All right, welcome. Those of you who are here with us, we've made it to session 6. This is Christine Hull. She has this class for 5th through 12th teachers and administrators. She's going to be talking about how to promote civic competence and responsibility by learning about the Constitution with your students and using We the People to make learning exciting and for both students and teachers with interactive strategies, content, and congressional hearings. All right, Christine, I'm excited about this one. Go ahead and take it away.
Great, thanks. Okay, we have a small group, so hopefully some friends will watch it on the recording. So we'll adjust as we go along. But thank you all for being here. And if you're watching the recording, thank you for watching, and I appreciate it. Okay. So We the People is a program meant for upper elementary, middle school, and high school. I don't know where my high school on that list went, but it got cut off on my slide. Anyway, all right, so there's 3 levels of this program. So we're going to start with some skills and dispositions, and since we're a little bit short in here, we'll have to ask everybody to participate. So if you go to this website, menti.com, and type in this code, it will bring up this, this presentation. So it's 1446331. So I'll submit some too. And so a disposition is a skill is obviously something that they know how to do, and a disposition is like it's basically part of their personality. It's part of who they are. Okay, so one fun thing about this particular program, Mentimeter, is that this is actually a word cloud. So if more than one person puts something in, then the word gets bigger. So it's very similar to like Wordle or another word cloud service you may have used, but instead of having to copy and paste everything that your students have written in another place, it all goes into one space. One thing, sorry, I think you can probably hear the dog barking in the background. Such is life on a Saturday while we're all at home. They do allow for free educator accounts, and you can have up to 2 slides per show in this program. And so I think that's pretty cool. There's lots of other options. So something fun to play with. Did we have something in the chat? I feel like I can kind of see a bubble, but I don't know if I can or not.
It was just me putting the attendance tracker for session 6.
Thank you. Okay. All right. So quickly, we're going to go over what We the People is. We're going to probably skip the candy bar hearings today. I'm just going to tell you about them. And then we're going to see a We the People presentation and have a discussion about that. And then I think you're all done for the day. Oh, there is a wrap-up session, but after that, you're done. Okay, really quickly about me. I'm the wearer of many hats. I have 3 kiddos, a high schooler, a middle schooler, and an elementary school kid, elementary age child, 2 pups that you could just hear in the background. Lucy is a red fox lab, and Milo is a golden retriever, and they keep me real busy. My husband, fun fact, is actually a state champion of We the People. And so it's something that we both do. He's actually a coach for some of our high school and middle school programs up here in Northern Nevada. And in our spare time, there's not much spare time with 3 kids, but in our spare time, after 2 full-time jobs and 3 kids, we love to do DIY projects and garden in our backyard. I just expanded my garden and have 3 big beds. So we tried pumpkins again this year for the first time in a few years and had fun with that. Okay. If anybody wants to share in the chat where in Nevada they're from, what grade they teach, and if they've ever heard of We the People. I'm not seeing anything, so we'll just keep on going.
Where do we got one? We got Stephanie from Vegas, middle school mentor, Red Vines, and yes.
Yes, Red Vines. Oh, I had Red Vines this, we did a movie night for the new Hocus Pocus movie. I know, really like basic of me, but I got Red Vines for the first time in like, I don't even know how many years. And I was like, I forgot how good these were. I love those. Okay. I copied just the 5th grade and middle school, 6 through 8, just kind of the introduction of those, because we already kind of know where in high school We the People fits in, obviously fits in the senior level. But in the middle school, wherever you fit in your early US history, which is very different around the whole state because the 6th through 8th grade standards are broad and really allow for districts to schedule that. So it's usually your 7th or 8th grade year. And then in 5th grade, it fits in really well at the beginning of the year. Okay, so this was kind of in the introduction. So it's a civic, promotes civic competence and responsibility in upper elementary, middle school, and high school students. Students learn extensively about the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, and students and teachers learn together. The end result is a simulated congressional hearing, which this is a picture of 5th grade students getting ready for their congressional hearing. And the idea is that they sit in front of a panel of judges, and really depending on your level, you can make that whatever works for you. So I'm going to show you actually a 5th grade video here in a minute. And these students actually sat in front of a group of high school students who had participated at the state level. But We the People students do generally score better on not only civics exams, but just general all exams. So if you have standardized testing in your school, students who participate in this, and it's really because they're using those skills, right? They're using reasoning and collaboration and all those skills we want students to be learning. Okay. Let's see. So through this process, not only do they learn about the government and our government, but they learn about comparative governments, and they learn how to work with others because they collaborate with a team. They learn how to apply concepts like how a court case applies to a law, how Congress acts, what presidents do, how the Constitution can be interpreted in different situations. They learn how to write an effective speech. So writing to speak is very different than writing for just academic purposes, right? And then there's that Q&A portion. So there's some future interview skills there. They have to learn some time management, and we use our disciplinary skills, which are in our social studies standards K through 12. Okay, so let's watch a hearing. Okay. I forgot to share sound. Hold on. I'm sorry. Oh, it's already clicked. Okay. All right.
Will you introduce? Hi, hello, I'm Nolan. I'm Melissa.
Hi, I'm Beth.
Hey guys. Alrighty, so are you guys ready to go? Okay. How did the framers write our Constitution? What major conflicts required the framers of the Philadelphia Convention to make compromises? Why was it so difficult for the framers to reach an agreement about how to resolve their conflicts? How did the compromise later adding a Bill of Rights affect our Constitution? Do you agree with the framers' decision to keep the proceedings of the Philadelphia Convention secret? Why or why not? And was the group that assembled at the Philadelphia Convention a fair representation of the people?
Maybe here. In 1776, when the colonists declared their independence, the authors of the Constitution decided they needed to create a new government. Their first attempt was the Articles of Confederation. But over time, the founding fathers decided that it was too weak. Some of these flaws are the national currency, treaty enforcement, and raised military. They also decided to write the Constitution because of the Shays' Rebellion, which was when a group of angry citizens could not provide for their families because they were not being paid enough money. One named General Shays, a member of the rebellion, said, "Influence is not government. Let us have a government by which." But after the Shays' Rebellion, the authors of the Declaration decided to create a constitution. But there were a few problems that needed to be solved along the way. For example,
the framers had difficulty reaching conclusion about the collective thoughts and opinions, as some of the rights of the Constitution was the Bill of Rights, which stated. States leaders feared that a strong central government would violate people's rights. These leaders were known as the Anti-Federalists, and their goal was to instate a list of citizens' rights. On the opposing side, the Federalists believed the Constitution alone was enough to protect citizens' rights. James Madison, considered to be the father of the Constitution, first presented the list of citizens' rights with one of the first 12 amendments to the Constitution. In 1789, Congress passed these 12 amendments, while the states ratified or approved 10, now considered to be the Bill of Rights by most all.
The compromise by Bill of Rights affected our Constitution because citizens did not want the Constitution to get used against them.
The framers chose to keep the Constitution a secret because the framers were talking about very important and confidential information at the time. For example, in the Constitutional Convention of 1787, it says the following: "To encourage delegates to make arguments without fear of recrimination and to discourage mob action in the city, those in attendance kept their deliverance secret during their lifetimes and did not inform the public of the resulting document until September 17th, after most of the delegates had signed on to it." This shows that the framers had only the best intentions for the people of America in mind. And if the framers did tell the public before September 17th, most of the framers might feel uncomfortable living their everyday lives. Therefore, the framers might not feel free to speak and establish better laws for the community.
no, the delegates did not have fair representation of the people, because not all of the delegates were present at the Philadelphia Convention, such as the important founders, Thomas Paine, George Washington, and Benjamin Franklin. They were all white men, average age 42, who were well educated, owned land, and were very wealthy. They only represented women. They only represented white men. They left women and people of color out. In this note, Abigail Adams writes to her husband the following: "I long to hear that you have declared an independency. And by the way, in the new code of laws, which I suppose it will be necessary, I desire that you would make, and you would remember the ladies." This shows that back in the day, women were forgotten, and they had to speak up for what they believed in, or else we would not be where we are today.
All in all, the framers wrote a constitution for freedoms such as freedom of speech, freedom of expression, and the freedom of religion.
Thank you guys. Good job, you guys. So our first follow-up question is, in your own words, what is the common good? And can you give examples?
Common good is how the government will do what pleases the majority of the people, or doing what is good for the community, not just you, and the right to life, liberty, and property. An example of common good is when we all had to wear masks. Less of the majority did not want to, but we all had to for the common good, so that we would not get sick and in the future could continue living our everyday lives.
All right, your next question is, people sometimes disagree about what is best for all in the community. Describe a situation where this might happen. How do you think such disagreements should be settled?
A recent issue that spread across the U.S. was to the denial of masks, as they believed it violated their personal. The state governments of America mandated masks as they believed it would slow the spread of COVID-19. This disagreement between people was resolved by most states on mandating masks when it was shown that cases of COVID-19 were severely reduced. This then gave people the choice not to wear a mask if they wished.
Thank you guys. You did really good.
Yeah, good job, you guys.
Okay, so then the judges, which was a group of high school students, for 5th grade, we often have the students pre-prepare the Q&A, simply because it gives them an opportunity to be a little bit more prepared so they can prepare notes. This particular class, they actually prepared full-blown answers. A lot of times they'll do at least some like bullet points of some ideas so they're aware of it. As we go along in the middle school and high school, they're not aware of what the judges are going to ask or the judge panel. So they have to really be prepared for anything around that topic. And I can definitely share some of our high school videos if anybody wants to see them. But that particular class worked really, really hard. And that particular group, I did want to share, they had a flu bug go around that class the week before. So they had to learn some great lessons about perseverance and how to do teamwork. And so that was one of the reasons why everything was written out ahead of time, simply because they didn't know who was even going to be in attendance that day. And I was very lucky to get to work with that class really closely. The boy in the tie was actually my son. And so that was really cool that I got to see him do this, because this is obviously the work I do every day, but the fact that my son got to do that. And extra fun fact, as I mentioned, my husband is a We the People state winner from when he was in high school. And that tie was the tie he wore. And that was the same unit that my son and my husband got to do. So it really is a family affair, and we truly believe in this process and what can come out of it. So let me get back to my my presentation here. I feel like we're going to go really fast because we don't have as many people as we were expecting. I think the people probably are done. It's been a long day. Okay, so next thing would be anything that you saw the students doing or any dispositions you saw them using through this process. So just thinking about what they would have to do to prepare all of that information, as well as the experience of sitting in front of a judge panel. So I'll just give it a second, and you feel free to put them in the chat.
Debbie is saying confidence.
Yeah. I mean, it takes a lot to be able to speak in front of your whole class like that, and then and then in front of high schoolers, which I almost wonder if was more nerve-wracking for them than anything, but it was really fun. We also had the 7th graders, that's a K-8 school, and we had the 7th graders come in and actually help support them. So during their research process, the 7th graders had just done their hearings. And so they came in and helped them with additional research and kind of prepped them. So that's kind of a fun thing, that there's multiple grade levels. So if you have a direct feeder school, if you're a 5th grade teacher and you have a middle school that direct feeds that school, you can have them come help. Same thing with high school. We have a lot of high schools that do this this program, and then those seniors can come and help the middle school and elementary school kids in some way. So as I mentioned, there's some perseverance, teamwork, collaboration. They also had to learn how to research. They have to learn how to cite things properly and say them out loud. So you might have heard one of the girls mentioned Abigail Adams. And so they have to learn how to quote that and not just make it their own statement. So there's a lot of really great things that they see about that. Okay. Our next activity, we were going to do a candy bar hearing. So I'm just going to go over what a candy bar hearing is, because it's a great way to kind of dip your toes in this. Normally we would break people up in groups and we would actually do the hearing, but I don't know that that's going to be possible. And since probably more people will watch the recording of this will give you an opportunity, and we'll attach the actual document to do the candy bar hearing in our presentation materials webpage. I think that this is such a fun way to just kind of dip your toes into this process without getting political. And I know that that's a really scary thing for a lot of teachers because we're a really split state when it comes to politics. And so it's just sometimes not worth it to get political. So this candy bar hearing is a really fun way to do that. So you can pick any candy bars you want. These are 4 that I use a lot. So Snickers, Reese's, Hershey's, and the Twix. And so you would break the kids up into groups, and they prepare a presentation arguing why their candy bar should be chosen as the official national candy bar. They should think about how the ingredients of the bar, they should think about the name, the design, the wrapper, maybe history of the company. We usually have people talk about where it's made and how that came about, and even the ingredients and how it relates to the government of the United States. And so then the students, go and do that research, and then they come back and they make an argument for it. And then you do a deliberative process and have them vote as a class. We also did a really similar lesson for this year's election materials for the student mock election, and it was on school mascots, and we used all Nevada state animals. And it was a really similar process to kind of defending why the animal you had in your group would be the right animal to represent a school as a school mascot. So these are really similar processes if you especially have younger kids, but even if you are in a middle school or high school, you can absolutely use these 2 models to kind of dip your toes into this process with students with something that they're going to get excited about, something that they know about, right? Like who doesn't know about candy and animals? So those are really great opportunities to kind of dip your toes into this concept. How are we on time, Emily? I feel like I'm powering through it.
You know what? Take the time you need, and then when we're ready to stop, you're ready. Don't even
Okay.
stress about it. We're just
Well, because
lots of people can see it later. Don't worry.
Yeah. So let me just show you where to find all this information on our website. Let me see if I can kind of move this around. Let's see. Okay. So on our website, can you see the website now? Did it switch? Okay. So you would go to nvcc.org/presentation, and then there's a dash materials. And so all of the materials will be here, the presentation, and then any like the attachment for the candy bar hearing, and I'll also attach the election materials here too. And we have all of our other presentations that we've done at different conferences on this site. This is also a page you can go to learn more about We the People. Like I mentioned, all of the data behind it, how it looks in the different grade levels, how do you get involved? And if you need textbooks, because there is a set of textbooks for this class, or to use the materials. And by the way, Clark County teachers, you have Actively Learn accounts, and the actual textbook is in the Actively Learn account. You can actually access this and all of the really cool things. So in the textbook, there's a ton of interactive activities and ways to think about this and essential questions. And there's a teacher's guide, and that's actually all already in your Actively Learn account. So if you're using Actively Learn, we highly recommend that you check that out first before we get you a class set of textbooks. We do have some funds from the legislature that helps us provide classroom sets of textbooks. But again, we really do encourage the Actively Learn, especially for Clark County teachers who have access to that, simply because it's a much more interactive, the interfaces, right? So I'm sure if you've used Actively Learn, you know how that works. So that's where you can find all that information on our website. We have a bunch of other stuff on there that we would love for you to check out as well. But if you have any questions, I'll put my email in the chat, and you're welcome to contact me, but it's chull, chull@nvcce.org. And you can always get and just search We the People Nevada, and our website should come up. But I think that's all that I had, just to share a little bit more about this program and just how incredible it is to see the students go above and beyond and do something just so neat for them to do the research and them to feel so proud of themselves, to walk away knowing that they did something really incredible, and being able to talk to adults especially is a big deal. So we have the actual We the People high school invitational coming up on December 10th. And you're welcome to attend. In Southern Nevada, it's at West CTA, and in Northern Nevada, it's at Reno High School. And so we're happy to have visitors for either, if you want to come check it out and see what it looks like and how it feels. You can bring a principal, you can bring a friend, whatever you want to do. Just feel free. You can email me, and I can help you get oriented to where you would need to go if you want to come see it in person. So I think that's it.
Okay, thank you, Christine. I'm going to go ahead and put our section survey in there. I did not know, because I did We the People in 5th grade. I did not know that it's an actively learned. So I'm excited to share that with my school, that we have access already to it. So thank you for sharing that. I'm going to stop recording.